lovely, lovely spring. You can feel it in the first warm rays of the sun slanting across the backyard. You can hear it in the excitement of the birds twittering in the maples and the lazy clop-clop of the milkman's horse coming up the street. You can see it everywhere. Spring does something.
Well, hey friends, it's Natalie. Welcome to my day. So glad you stopped by to hang out while I get some stuff done around here. I've got some decluttering to do, maybe a little bit of gardening, garden planning and prepping to do. And then I'm also going to be sharing with you what is in my kids' Easter baskets this year. And of course, I'm sharing some encouragement and gentle motivation along the way throughout this video. So I hope you enjoy it. Give it a thumbs up if you do. And let's hop into what I'm working on right now. We were just starting our homeschooling time. We already did a little bit of our morning studies and devotional and stuff. I gave them a 5-minute break, and now I'm gonna corral them all back in and we're gonna finish up our studies. And then I think it's time to move on to some household stuff. In my life, as I'm sure it is for most of you, some days are more productive than others. I'm anticipating a productive day today because I'm actually feeling well, but I have not been feeling so great on other days. I talked about it in a previous video that I will link in the description box if you kind of want to hear more of the fuller explanation, but my chronic illness has been flaring up really bad lately. And so there are little pockets and corners of my house right now that are just kind of a bit crazy. And since I'm feeling well today, I'm going to try my best to kind of get through those areas, but also I want to make sure that I am making time and very intentionally getting periods of rest, because I do believe that a lot of my chronic illness, chronic pain is flared up from stress and from overdoing it. So I don't want to be in this vicious cycle of constantly catching up, stressing myself out after I've had an episode, and then triggering another episode to happen because I was stressed out and trying to catch up and putting too much on my plate. Progress over perfection. If you're dealing with this sort of thing, then I just want to be an encouragement to you. You don't have to get it all done. I think get it all done is probably in the title of this video because the algorithms love it. So if you clicked on this video for the get it all done motivation, I hope you find some of that, and I hope you'll also stick around for some of the downtime and the peace and the rest that I take as well, because in a world of go, 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 we can really just let ourselves overdo it, especially as moms and homemakers. So you're not alone if you're feeling overwhelmed. Let's see what we get done today and not worry about the rest.
Take your time, fall in line someday. It's hard to win, hard to pin one day. I look out for you to soothe away the blues in your eyes. Take your time, fall in line someday. It's hard to win, hard to pin one day. I look out for you to soothe away the blues in your eyes. Take a stand, move your hand someday. Skies one day. I look out for you to soothe away the blues in your eyes. your eyes. Looking out from my window, city lights and a still glowing blue. Looking out from my window, city lights and a still glowing blue.
Okay, the kitchen is clean, the coffee consumed, the kids are cuddled. How's that for alliteration? I have this corner cabinet in my kitchen here that needs some attention. I actually talked about this in last week's video. Yes, that is Minecraft on the TV. Kids did their chores in school and now they're getting a little bit of intentional screen time. So this cabinet over here, I talked about this in last week's video. If you missed it, I shared a huge pantry, like the actual pantry room in our house, huge declutter, reorganization, revamp, and I love how it turned out. It's actually one of my favorite decluttering videos, favorite decluttering projects I've ever done. But the part of my kitchen that really goes hand in hand with what I have in that pantry is this corner cabinet. And in that video, I was explaining how I have really gotten into a lot more baking, scratch-made cooking. And as a result, this cabinet here, which I have set up with baking supplies and ingredients and dry goods and stuff like that, has gotten a lot more traffic, and I would like to just take every single thing out, set it all out on the counter, give everything a good little vacuum because we've got all sorts of dust, oats and rice kernels and stuff that have fallen, and try to do a bit of a better job of organizing the stuff that I have in here. Some things are working amazing, some things not so much. So this is what I'm gonna work on right now. And if you have anything to do around your house, maybe it's some decluttering or some cleaning, this would be a great time to get that started. You can join me, and I'm gonna work on this corner baking cabinet. Okay, so let's talk about the things that are working about this system. These bins that I got and labeled for the dry goods that I use for baking, amazing. I set up this system last year and it has held up so well. There's just some of these bins that I need to restock and refill. And now that I did a lot of my dry goods reorganization in the pantry itself, I'm able to do that now. So I will get to that. What's not working for me right now are just all of these little bags of random things, especially chocolate chips. I think I have a problem. You know, some people collect tchotchkes or trading cards, baseball cards. I collect chocolate chips. And I have all sorts of them here that I think I need a little bin, as much as it pains me to say that. If you know me, you know I'm not much of a bins and baskets sort of person, but I think I need something to corral these items. I have something that I used for food storage back in the day that might work, we shall see. But this needs some help. Oats my goats. The Thrive Market organic rolled oats are the best. And then I've got this little mason jar. I think it's a 32-ounce mason jar. I have a few of these that I use for like white sugar, brown sugar, and baking soda. And I have brown sugar and baking soda that I can pour into these things. Some of this mess is just laziness. I can admit it. I really do not think that you need special containers and jars and fancy stuff like that to put your ingredients in. My line of thinking is that if the original packaging is a major pain in the butt to go in and out of as you're cooking, then it deserves a new jar or container or something like that. And brown sugar is one of those things. Bags of flour and sugar are one of those things for sure. And I would much rather scoop baking soda out of this than have to deal with this little bag. So I'm going to just decant. But this container of quinoa that I have here, this does not belong down there. This can go in my pantry. I am not accessing quinoa often enough to justify keeping it here in my kitchen. Okay, that can be there. These are my 5-gallon buckets that I filled in last week's video. They're still working really good. It's been almost 2 weeks since we've had this set up. And I'm gonna come in here with those smaller bins that I use in my kitchen and refill my flour, and I need more rice, and I do need more whole wheat flour as well. I'll get to that in a second. Let's look at the bottom little rack of that Lazy Susan in my kitchen. Okay, this is where it gets real crazy. I have stuff in here that's just thrown down here. So my Bennett basket that I use for proofing bread. I have my apron down here, a random, oh, that's where it is. This is citric acid. I wanted to make homemade cheese with the kids, and I could not find this the other day. And now I know. Okay, there's that. I have this random bag of like mason jar lids, which does not need to be down here. I've got vanilla bean pods. That can go in the pantry as well. My second jar for my sourdough starter, and all sorts of random stuff down here. So I'm just gonna clear everything out and go through it and declutter the stuff that I don't need. And what do you know? More chocolate. Okay, listen. That's what my piano teacher always used to say. Like when she was gonna like tell you something that she thought was profound, she'd always say, listen. So one of the biggest things that I have learned in my decluttering minimalism journey is that you have to be really honest about where you're at in life and what makes sense for your lifestyle right now. And this cabinet is a really good example of that. A year ago, I wasn't making sourdough bread every day. Now, I am. So my flour, my bread making tools and supplies, and all of that totally makes sense to keep under there. What I am not realistically making on a weekly or daily basis is cakes and cookies and cupcakes and stuff like that. So I have this white bin that actually used to hold stuff in Haley's room that we no longer need. So I'm going to pop my cake decorating supplies, sprinkles, and stuff like that. Probably even these little like chocolate melts. I'm not using these as chocolate chips, like if I'm gonna make cookies or something. I even have like a cake frosting spatula, which when I need this, just kind of like these cake decorating tips that I like to use. It's not very often, but when I need it, I'm glad I have it. And so that's why I think putting it in its own little home here and not with the rest of the stuff that I use on a weekly or daily basis is going to be my best bet. And that's okay. It's okay to shift stuff around as your life changes. There is zero guilt or pressure here. I think that this is going to work so much better. I don't even use these, so that can actually be decluttered out. Sometimes decluttering is actually moving on and getting rid of stuff, and other times it's giving things a better home. Okay, so that's up there. I think that's gonna work a lot better. While I was in there, I grabbed this food storage container that I've had for a while. I think we used to keep, is that crackers or cornflakes or something in here? I think I will just shove my chocolate chip bags into here. I think that is going to work better. I think I even have a couple in my pantry that I could add to this. So this is going under here. Oh, first I have to vacuum it out. Let's do that. Okay, I have a little bundle of stuff to go back to the pantry. And then I have this little basket that I've had for years. It's literally falling apart, but it'll do for now. I've got some cheesecloth that I use and then a few aprons. Right now my favorite one is this pinafore apron. I will link it for you guys. It's super cute, very functional. My sister gave me this apron, and sometimes when Weston and I are working together, it's nice to have two aprons, but I don't need the 3rd. So I can declutter that out. The kids also have an apron that I think is in Haley's room, and so it'll probably end up in this basket as well. But this is the last thing to pop down there. Much better. This is looking so good down here. It's gonna be so much more functional. Got my chocolate chips in there, and the bottom shelf is looking so much more organized and more minimal. I have just what I actually use on a daily or weekly basis, and this was well worth the time to get this project done. Look at how much better it looks. This is gonna function so much better for me. Hello, hello. It's the next day. I am locking my bedroom door because I'm going to share with you what I got my kids for their Easter baskets this year. I always keep it really practical. It's a lot of consumables, affordable and fun to celebrate a very special season for us as Christians. So I've got what's in their basket, and I'm also going to show you what I put together for their outfits. All of this is thrifted actually, and a lot of what I have in their Easter baskets is thrifted as well. Repeat after me. It is okay to thrift things for your kids, even gifts. Do they know the difference? Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. Okay, so here is this year's spread. Let's start with some of the consumables that I have in their Easter baskets, and this is very much like how I do Christmas stockings for them. I like to bulk it up with a lot of the things that they can snack on or play through. I've got little springtime themed snacks and some of their favorite ones like meat sticks, and I've got little bottles of bubbles. And each year the kids always do blue for Judah, green for Liam, pink for Haley. And I have reused this same Easter grass filling for probably, this is I think the 4th year that I've had this same stuff, and sometimes their colors get a little bit mixed into each other's. I thrift gifts for my kids. I love doing it this way, and I've actually been really surprised in the past when I've posted like what I got my kids for Christmas or Easter videos or their birthday or whatever, when I share how I thrift things for them. Apparently this is pretty controversial. I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments. Honestly, that's not going to stop me from doing this because it saves so much money. Some people think like, oh, it's like cheating to save a buck when you're giving someone a gift. I do not see it that way at all. It's not about how much money you spend on your kids. It's not about how much stuff you give your kids. It's not about this at all. I mean, Easter for us as Christians is about Jesus, and giving gifts to our kids is one of the ways that we celebrate that, whether it's thrifted or not. This lot of Legos, I just searched on eBay for spring themed or Easter themed Legos, and a seller was selling all of this for what like one of these sets would normally cost if you purchase them brand new. I believe most of these are like last year's model. I think I'm going to give one of the boys this one, this little bird's nest, and then the other one of the boys, this little like hen and chicks. How cute is that? And then I was thinking, because I do have something for Haley, which I'll show you, which was also thrifted, by the way. I thought that these two sets would be fun to just do with the kids outside of doing like Easter baskets. Like I would just bring these out and we would have fun and hang out together and build these together. I did get Haley this little calico critters set, which, I mean, how stinking adorable is this? One of the things about purchasing secondhand stuff online is that sometimes the shipping takes a while. I actually bought this for her with the intention of giving it to her on Valentine's Day, but it didn't get here in time. It was on a slow boat from the UK, but it will be perfect in her Easter basket. I think this is just going to be so cute. She will be over the moon. And then this kind of like these, you know, outside of being a gift in the Easter baskets, it's just like an activity or a nice little fixture in our house that we bring out year after year for the Easter time. This is He is Risen tomb set, and it sparks some great conversation. We have the women at the tomb, we have Jesus, one of his disciples, and this is kind of like a decoration slash toy in our house. And my kids, like even my boys, with being older now, they still really look forward to me putting this out. And then as far as Easter outfits go, I did thrift everything here as well. My favorite place to thrift kids clothing is the app called Kidizen, and I found someone selling these really cute boys shirts. It's the Denim and Flower brand. Oh, and this one is Cactus Boys. I've never heard of this brand before. Honestly, I don't know where they are sold. I just bought this secondhand. There was 3 of them in the lot that I purchased, so I don't know which 2 the boys will end up wearing on Easter. And then I got them these longer pants. I've got these denim joggers and then these more khaki colored ones. Thrifted those on the Kidizen app as well. But if it's a warmer day, I think this is from the same seller as the shirts. And maybe she has twins too. I don't know, because there were these matching little chambray shorts. Pick these up as another option as well. And then of course, there's the famous hedgehog Easter dress for Haley. So there's a story behind this. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know that Haley, on her very first Easter, she was almost 1. She was born in April. She wore a 12-month size of this dress. And every Easter after that, we have been able to secondhand find like the next size up. And this year she has made it out of toddler sizes and is now wearing girls sizes. And I even have the medium for the next size up when she's ready for that, if she wants to wear it. I always tell her, hey, you can choose something else, but it's Easter, it has to be the hedgehog dress. How cute is that? Also got her these saltwater sandals. These were thrifted, but they were brand new in the box. I don't buy used, like worn shoes for my kids, secondhand, but this fit the bill. And look at that, you know it's springtime when the saltwater sandals come out. Well, there you have it. That's what I got my kids for Easter this year. I love this spread. It was affordable and fun to go hunt for this stuff for the kids. And so I'm gonna pop their Easter outfits to the top of their closet. That way none of these pieces get lost between now and Easter, because I have had that happen before. Lesson learned. And I'm also gonna just have these baskets made up and put into like a black trash bag with the top tied off and stashed in my office so that they won't find them. But now it's time to move on to some garden-y sort of springtime stuff. If you clicked on this video for the Easter baskets, I hope you'll stick around for the rest of what I have to share. It is a gorgeous day today. It's like 55, 56 degrees outside, beautiful, sunny, blue skies. That's downright balmy for us here in Western Washington, and I'm gonna take advantage of it. First, I have to assemble a little indoor greenhouse. It was just delivered from Amazon actually, and I want to get that put together and start figuring out what I want to get into my garden. I have some planning and prepping to do, and then I got some flowers today that I'm so excited to start putting into some planters. So hopefully I get to that today. Right now, let's assemble that greenhouse. I was about to leave this thing a 1-star review, and then I realized that I put the hinges on the wrong side. That's why I take Amazon reviews with a grain of salt, because I feel like most of the time it's user error. So I think I'm actually going to set this on top of that little bookcase over there in the corner. It's the perfect dimensions, and there's an outlet there for my grow lights. We shall see how this does. It's got these little doors on the front, a couple of little shelves in here. This is kind of like a plexiglass plastic material. And I've got grow lights, heat mats, a thermometer for monitoring the temperature in there, and little planters and stuff. This actually opens up on the top to vent out if it's getting a little bit too warm in there. But I think this size and this configuration is going to be adequate for what I need for my initial seed starting here for the springtime. There are only a few things that I want to start from seed. I didn't start any of my plants last year. I got a late start with my garden last year because we kept going back and forth on where we wanted it and what type of gardening we wanted to do. And last year I landed on the no dig method as sort of a starting point for me. And then we built this garden here. It's out this window on this side of the house. This gets amazing sunshine, many, many hours a day for most of the year. And so we have a great growing season in this spot. A lot of the seeds that I have been collecting, I picked some up recently. I also had some from last year. A lot of them are actually direct sow, so I don't actually have to start some plants. I'm going to start some snap peas. These did really well in my garden last year. That is probably going to be in this first wave of seed starting. Most of my herbs in the garden did fine over the winter, except my parsley and cilantro are looking a little sad, which is to be expected. They're more of a delicate herb, so I picked up some seeds for that. That's also what I'm going to be starting soon. Radishes, we got this kind, and then we found these radishes, these watermelon radishes, which are like a really cool color. Beets, carrots, these get direct sown straight into the garden beds from seed versus starting little plants in a greenhouse or like a little grow box situation. That is what I have so far. I'm still formulating my plan. I had a garden last year, but I am still very much a beginner at this stuff. So an amazing person to follow for beginner gardening stuff, gardening things in general, is my mama. She's at Homegrown on Purpose over on Instagram. She doesn't know that I'm giving her a shout out, but she's amazing. She also shares a bunch of like recipes and sourdough tips. I get questions all the time because I've really been into sourdough. I got her into it recently. And my mom literally goes from beginner to expert on anything that she tries in like 2 weeks flat. She's amazing. You'll love following her over on Instagram. She's also building a website, which is really exciting. I'm going to try to start plants that are realistically going to survive, direct sow some other plants. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done out in the garden to get stuff prepped and ready for that. I think the stuff that I can do now is flowers. In fact, let me show you what I recently picked up at the nursery. Flowers make me so very happy. I have these over here. Oh, these fell over. It must have gotten a little windy, or kids, you never know. You're gonna hear them screeching a bit over there on the trampoline. But this is what I picked up recently. I always end up getting pansies and violas, primroses and petunias and stuff like that this time of the year. It just, man, it brightens up my world so much. I even got some crocuses. I wanted to get bulbs in the ground in the fall time last year, but life happened. This time I got some anemones, which are just beautiful. I got another one here. And then I got these daffodils, which should be blooming in the next couple of weeks here in our region. So I picked up a new set of garden gloves because I need a fresh pair. Oh, I also picked up these hollyhocks. Oh my goodness. These remind me of my grandma. I'm pretty sure these were her, like one of her favorite flowers, that and yellow roses. That's what she was known for. So I want to plant some of these, some forget-me-nots also in memory of her. Flowers, I just feel such a connection to my grandma. My grandma Judy was an amazing gardener. She could make anything grow. She wasn't one for like vegetables and that sort of thing, edibles. She was a flower gardener and just had such a knack. And her flowers and her landscaping was always so incredible, so beautiful. And whenever I see flowers, I literally think of my grandma, even before she passed away. It's just my whole life. Flowers just reminded me of Grandma Judy. And I love the springtime and the new life that it reminds us of. And for us as Christians, that new life in Christ, and it's the Easter season, and it's just all so special. So I'm going to be contemplating that a bit while I get these planted and enjoy this spring day. That sun is so nice. My goodness. These flowers turned out so pretty. I just feel like you can never go wrong with early spring flowers. Just throw them in a pot. They brighten up any space. I'm gonna save these little pots that I took the pansies out of for some of the seed starting that I want to do. I already have some, but might as well recycle them and reuse them for something else. What are you eating?
Sage.
What?
I'm eating sage.
Ooh, nice. You hear that? I don't know if my mic picks it up, but we've got quite a woodpecker extravaganza going on in these trees on this side of our property. Okay, one more thing I'd like to do before I say goodbye to you guys, and that is get a little bird feeder filled up that we bought when we were out getting these flowers. We have lots of little birdies coming out this time of the year, and so we want to give them some yummy treats. So I think I'm going to hang it over here on this little shepherd's hook at this corner of the garden. Well, it's a good start, but there is still so much to do. But that makes me so happy because I love working outside. Oh, look, there's a robin up in that maple tree.
Because he's in the garden.
Did he just go to the garden?
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Look at that. He smells the birdseed. Juxtaposition between these vibrant, beautiful new flowers in here and how wild and weedy and raw everything else is around it is just a good reminder that there is beauty amongst the crazy sometimes. And we fully intend to keep working on the crazy. We have lots of work to do around here. And in fact, I think maybe it's next week's video or the video in 2 weeks. But we have outdoor projects that we are going to be working on for the springtime, some gardening, some yard stuff, some landscaping stuff. We want to get like a hedge here at the edge of this where it goes down into the glen. We have lots of stuff that we want to do, and we'll share more of that in videos coming up. I'm all out of time for this video, but I wanted to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. It was nice to be able to get stuff done as well as have some moments of downtime. Like this moment right now, the sunshine feels so amazing. And I am so excited to be able to spend some more time outside and work on what we've got going on out here and take you guys along for some of that. So be sure that your bell button is turned on if you're subscribed. And if you enjoyed today's video, you might also enjoy my spring clean and decorate with me video that I did. That one didn't get pushed out by YouTube like it normally does. And I know many of you missed it. So I will have that linked here for you guys in the end card to go check that one out if you did miss it. But thanks so much for spending a little part of your day here with me on my channel, and I'll catch you later.